I was asked this morning about Mr. Trump's speech at the convention and how why it was so dark. And the point I made this morning was it wasn't dark at all. It actually was an optimistic speech. The difference between that speech that he gave in Cleveland and what you're going to hear here in Philadelphia over the next several days is Donald Trump told the truth of what's going on. He explained clearly to the American people that he wasn't going to sugarcoat it. He wasn't going to pretend things were fine. He hears what they've been saying to him on the campaign trail, and he understands their angst. He understands the fact that some people are working 2 jobs and 3 jobs, still not able to pay their bills. Some people can't find any jobs. He understands the fear they have in walking the streets of their neighborhoods, and he understands the fear that exists as far as the threat of terrorism in our communities and to our country. President Obama the other day said it's a different America than Donald Trump was describing, a different America than the one he knows, and that's precisely the problem. President Obama has been living in a bubble and doesn't understand what's going on in the United States. He doesn't understand the fears that people are suffering, and his lack of leadership and the failed leadership of both Obama and Clinton when she was Secretary of State are primary contributors to the problems we're facing today.
I believe that Russia itself may be behind some of these leaks of the DNC emails. Does it concern you that the Russian government may be meddling in this election, even if it's on your behalf?
Obviously, we don't know who's behind the leaks. I do know one thing. You know, the leaks of this week put the DNC at risk, but the potential leaks of hacking Mrs. Clinton's server was sitting unprotected in her home. Certainly created greater risk than what the DNC leak did. So it reinforces again the case that's been made about how there was justice wasn't done with the investigation, and you can be sure that if they were able to hack the DNC, the Clinton server was hacked as well, and those state secrets are sitting somewhere, if not many places around the world.
Tammy?
Paul, I was going to ask, has the Trump campaign doubled down considering all of these leaks? What provisions, security provisions, have you put in place to protect the campaign and the RNC?
You mean to protect the server? Well, as Mr. Trump would say, we're not going to tell you that. But we've taken precautions to protect our server, and I'm sure Reince can talk about his as well.
And I also say, to the other question, what you saw today or yesterday in these email leaks just verified something that we all kind of already knew, right? I mean, we're not really sitting here believing that the DNC was impartial. We knew they weren't, and the emails just illustrated, as exhibits would be, perfectly crafted in any piece of litigation, what we already knew. Was that the DNC was tipping the scale the entire time for Hillary Clinton. It was evidenced by the fact that the debates were, there was about 4 of them, and they were like, on the day before the Super Bowl, or like, the day after Christmas, not exactly, but you know the point. We've talked about this ad nauseum. So that's the first piece. It just was a dramatic illustration of what we knew the truth was the whole time anyway. As far as your question, we take every precaution you can imagine in order to secure our email servers and our data at the RNC. You didn't see any articles about RNC data, right? You didn't see any articles about leaked emails. Sure, we would be concerned about any foreign government that would be able to break into email servers, but the other thing is, you don't say stupid things on email either and send it around among staffers. I mean, you use your head a little bit. But obviously not only were these guys tipping the scales, but they were dumb enough to actually do things like that, which is not smart.